Hey, Nick.
Hey, Chase.
It's that time again.
What time is it?
Time for
Fuck This Place!
Better.
This is what?
Okay. Oh, this is
Also,
good.
I want to say, everybody looks really good.
Hell yeah.
You know, I just want to
I
say,
take it.
I
We're
feel
looking
like
good today. We're looking good.
we cleaned up all right.
There we go. I know. I took a shower before this. I don't know why. 'Cause there's no way you would know.
I always mouthwash. Nobody here.
Really?
Yeah.
I always eye drops.
Oh, yeah?
Always eye drops. Mhm.
Really?
What kind of eye drops?
Just like clear eyes. I just don't. I just my left eye especially is always red. Always gets red. Whenever I have allergies, that's the first one to go.
I have an eye like that as
Immediately.
well.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
I've been seeing the stuff you guys have been putting on Instagram.
We're clipping
Oh,
it,
nice.
dude.
We're clipping it up.
As you
Always
should.
clipping. Oh, ABC.
Honestly-
always be clipping.
always be clipping. That's awesome.
I'll never let anybody know I said that. We should intro the podcast. Welcome to Fuck This Place, the podcast about jobs with Chase and Nick. My name is Chase.
My name is Nick, and with us today, fantastic guest, stand-up comic, food equality enthusiast, and just all-around super nice guy. I've always enjoyed my interactions with you, Mr. Granison Crawford. How are you doing,
Hello.
Granison?
It's good to be here. I'm amazing. How are you both?
Doing good, man. My favorite fun fact so far of Granison Crawford, and I say it to you every time we're on a show together, every time we've been on a show, is like that you were born in Stockton and then moved to Oakland. Is that so? So you're like honorary. I mean, like we're like opposite. I felt like I was from the Bay Area and then moved up to Stockton very quickly, and so we're honorary each other's hometown guys.
Yeah. I mean, what's cool about it is like it's less moving and more like refugee status. Like I got adopted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was better. It was a better land I went to.
Yeah. You got out of Stockton on like a 2-year program, like a work visa thing.
Exactly. And the government was like, you should probably move, get a new mom. What's good?
What a passport,
Yeah.
New moms will do that for you. Well, Granison, I think we should just jump straight into our first segment that we do on every podcast. It's actually a segment we call Fuck This Place ? Where we decide if we would work somewhere or not. So we've actually looked up some Craigslist posts from the Oakland area.
Yes.
And what we're going to do is I'm going to read 3 Craigslist post titles. You're going to pick the one you do not want to look at. And then we're going to click on the other 2 and see what's going on and decide, will we fuck this place or will we fuck this place? Are you cool with that?
I love that.
Okay, great. So first title for your selection pleasure is Video Needed for Product. Second title is School Project Coach. And third title is Do You Work for a Licensed Cannabis Company? ? Which one do you not want to click on? The school, the video needed, this product thing, or this licensed
I don't want
cannabis
to
company?
click on the video product. That sounds lame.
Yeah.
Sounds lame.
Yeah, fuck them. We don't
It's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Well, then let's jump straight into School Project Coach. And I'm just sharing my screen, so you should be able to see that. Okay, so the text begins. There's no photos or anything. And again, the title is School Project Coach. And then the text starts and it says, it's a trip. Seeking organized adult college students preferred with great time management skills to help my student complete a large project for school.
Do college students count as adults now? Are we doing that?
I think they should, honestly. I mean, based off of my behavior at that time, no. But but I do think that I do think college students should be adults.
Yeah.
I think split the difference because I'm with you, Chase. When I was at that age, I was not an adult. But now that I'm in my 30s and I look at them, they feel like more adults than me. So I would say,
okay, yeah. Some of them are real smarty pants. Okay, job app. Oh, good.
It's also good that they let us know that for a job, they're looking for adults and not organized children.
Preteens.
They're just like, we want 5 and under because we're trying to build a collage.
Yeah, looking for a stack of babies all in a trench coat.
That add up. We're looking for either one adult or a bunch of babies that add up to adulthood.
I do remember in being like in 5th grade. Did you ever do this? I think it was like 4th or 5th grade where our class got paired with like with like a class that was 2 grades below us, and we would go for like 20 minutes to help them with like reading or something. And of course they gave us this big speech about how these, first graders thought we were the big kids, and we were like, fuck yeah, we're the big kids. We're fucking 4th graders.
Yeah.
So
2 levels above.
2 levels. 3 in some cases.
Maybe Oakland Public Schools didn't have the budget for buddy systems like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was an efficient use of the budget that we had,
I think when Oakland did it, it was just because of like oversized classrooms, or like there's too many kids. So you have all the 2nd and 3rd graders taking a class together.
They're like, we don't have enough teachers. We need organized children.
Yeah, let's have the kids teach each other. You've been through 3rd grade. Go teach them.
They were just putting up the Uncle Sam posters in your guys' classrooms. Like, kids, we need you. We need your help.
It'll be fine. You already know the answers.
We need you to teach fractions. Okay. So the text continues, and it says, job applicant must be task-oriented, punctual, upbeat, and physically able to walk in nature, which, all right, man, what's going on? No prior knowledge of science is necessary, as my student is an expert.
Okay.
Man, I don't like this person, but is having trouble motivating to finish the project.
What?
Wow.
So many questions.
What is the project that needs organized nature walks?
I
I
don't
don't
know, man.
understand.
I don't know.
And also physically, like, for example, had they had problems before with a bunch of people astrally projecting themselves through nature? Like, what?
I do think this is again one of those things where like what they mean is, like they want to, if they were meaner, they'd be like, don't come to me and think that you're not going to walk around with my kid. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I think
they're looking for a parkour person.
Some light parkour. Also, again, I know we do have to finish the post, but like, how it says complete a large project for school. How large is this project if you need a job filled for it? But again, I think we'll get to all questions in the end. It says, we need someone who will be on site and hands-on. Successful applicant will support my student child, anyway, from start to finish with razor-sharp focus to complete the project within a month.
What's going on with this kid where it's like, they're like, no, we don't want a tutor. We don't want someone to help them with the actual work. He just keeps like going off and like being like, hey, do you think Tony died at the end of Sopranos? And it's like, hey, focus. Like,
focus.
Like, yeah. What's going on with him to where they can't tell him to sit still and finish his homework?
Yeah.
It sounds like a parent who's trying to disguise the fact that they have a kid who can't do stuff outside, and they want someone to be a part of it, but they don't want to say tutor, because if their kid finds out, opens their computer or something like that, the kid will be like, I hate tutors. But a coach sounds like fun.
Yeah, if you show up with a whistle, that's a good point.
Oh, so you think this is all just kind of guarded language to protect like the kid?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, then it says big bonus when the project is submitted May 7th. Big bonus.
Big bonus,
folks.
Big baby.
Organized adult.
I mean, you better be real clear about that bonus once you get in the interview process. Vaccinated person preferred. My student is fully vaccinated. And then the post. The compensation says hourly plus bonus. We do not know the hourly, nor do we know the bonus, but that is it.
Right. Well, there's 2 bonuses in play right now.
Well, I don't think so. It says big bonus when the project is submitted May 7th. I think that is plus bonus over here. I think those are the same bonus.
That's so vague. Plus bonus.
Yeah, a lot to unpack here, especially since this. Okay. Let's just say that this is a kid who has like ADHD.
Yes.
Like very, very real, codified learning challenge, right? There are people who are like trained to deal with that, right? Like they exist and there's already a whole structure. And it's obvious that this person is wealthy enough to pay for their child to get help, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe they're really trying to grift this thing, but it doesn't seem to me like that's the case. So it just seems to me like, what's your deal, man? I'm very concerned about the parent. Very concerned. Yeah.
I feel like this person just doesn't know how to Google what they want. Like they're like, I'm looking for an app that helps me find someone to coach my student or child. We don't really know. And and someone was like, oh, well, have you tried Craigslist? And they're like, I haven't. I should make something up.
Yeah. I just think that this is like a fever dream that this person had. One night they were just like, I need somebody to help my kid. Okay, what are they going to be? They can't be a tutor. I think you're right. We're going to be, they're a coach. They're a coach. What are they going to do? They're going to help him with this science project. My kid is already an expert. He's an expert.
Yeah.
You know what? He needs a coach who can walk in nature with him. And then but the thing that blows my fucking mind is like, what is this large project? Like, I'm just trying to think. Like, I remember when I was in high school, I had an assignment where I was supposed to, for like an environmental science class or something, I had to do nature logs. So you had to pick somewhere to go sit, once a week or something like that, and you had to just write everything that happened, in the 30 minutes you were there. And of course, you do it 2 times and you stop doing it, and then you just make up entries the rest of the time, because all it takes is like herd birds.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's nothing going on in nature. We all know that. I mean,
I kind of think, I think kind of what Granison was saying about like how, I think there's gonna be something wrong with this kid. Like, I think that this is all guarded so that when you go there, you have an idea. Like, you're thinking, oh, I guess I'm a tutor and I guess I just got to kind of keep this kid focused or whatever. Then you get there, the mom pulls you into the house and then pulls you both into a closet. And she starts whispering. She's like, look, my kid's a fucking monster and I think he has powers. Okay. I need help. He can hear us now. We have to be shut up, and be very quiet. Just like I think there's so much more in there. And then, I don't know, then spoons start to rattle or whatever. She's like,
don't go into the woods with this kid.
Yeah. Like, I think there's something weird here.
I feel like he's like, because of like, he's an expert, apparently, he or she, that it might just be like a young Lex Luthor situation, right? Like, this kid is a genius, but like kind of off, maybe a little evil genius, and really just needs to buckle down and get through the 6th grade. Like they got to get through so they can become a villain.
Things, kid.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
For right now, I think that is true of the Lex Luthors of the world, and get like kids who are super smart. They get super bored with dumb stuff,
Right.
So maybe it is. Maybe they are a soon to be super villain. But for now,
like if Lex Luthor had taken more hikes, he probably would have been way more chill.
Yeah.
Right. Or had a coach. Had a school project coach.
Someone wearing short shorts just to be like, hey, buddy, time to get back to work.
Let's get to stepping.
I'm gonna say that I'm out, because there's also just, I can't shake this feeling that there's just never been any kind of real discipline in this kid's life. To where they're like, this kid might just be an asshole. Might just be like a fucking bitch. And I don't want to feel like it's like, lady, are you asking me to punch your kid in the chest? Because that's what we're getting to right now.
Right. There's a lot of instructions and not a whole lot of information. So I'm going to assume you are probably harboring like a young barbarian in your house.
Yeah.
I'm going to say fuck this place only because I am where I am now. But I must admit that at a younger age, I think this could rope me in. Like, I would probably reach out, because I have experience with working with kids, and I'm just dumb enough to be like, oh, well, it sounds to me like maybe we're just going to walk in nature, and I just have to like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be a real bad optimist level. So I'm going to say fuck this place, but I'm not going to say that I have always had the wherewithal to avoid pure chaos situation. So that's me.
I would say fuck this place just because, as like a college student, I didn't want that. I wouldn't have wanted that responsibility. It sounds like I'm raising your child. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I'm not looking for like an adoption paper here. Okay. So let's move on to post number 2, which is, do you work for a licensed cannabis company? And the post begins. It says, hi.
Not to ask me a question up top.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, so they stop you on the street, like, like they're wearing, like they just got teleported through time or something. Like they're wearing like torn pants and like, half of a shirt.
Kind of singed looking.
Yeah. Do you work for a licensed cannabis company? Okay. Anyway, hi is how it begins. I'm looking to learn about the daily workflow of someone who works for a licensed cannabis manufacturer or cultivator, and someone who is specifically middle management. A lot of words I don't fully understand here. That means
I bet you they don't either. The way
Right.
that fits together.
workflow, bro. Workflow. Anyway,
Yo.
that means you might deal with buying / selling, procurement, marketing, sales, projects, etc. Okay, so like a higher up at a licensed cannabis company,
But not too high up.
but not too high up. You don't want to be an owner here.
Right. The day-to-day stuff.
I'm looking to learn more about how you operate. And while this isn't a cash gig, so they're not paying. Isn't a cash gig means we're not paying you. I'd be happy to buy you dinner while we talk and get to know each other.
At this point, I'm going, hey, oh, cool. Let me ask you a question. Are you a cop? Because this feels real coppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're trying to get to know me in my cannabis business. You're saying outright, you're not giving me money, but you want information about what I do with weed.
Yeah.
And you're going to maybe give me some food in exchange.
Right.
some
Right. Are
food.
you a cop and are you aware that weed is legal in Cali or wherever?
Yeah, there's a cop from the past. They went through a time machine and they're wearing tattered clothes and they're all a little singed and they're from 1989.
He's from 1989 and moves through time just to sting someone in the future.
Yeah, I've got to stop worse things in the doesn't really get out time travel.
Got to stop cannabis in the future by going to the future.
Yeah, no way to get the butterfly effect. You got to go. You got to jump. You got to make the jump. I get it. I worked with licensed cannabis operators. Do you work with licensed cannabis operators?
Crazy. You can't ask any one of them one of these damn questions.
Are you asking strangers for dinner plans?
You can't buy one of them a nice steak. And I'm looking to learn more about certain intricacies as we prepare for the next stage of our expansion. Who is us? Anyway.
What? Who is us? What expansion?
Our
if
expansion.
you already do this, why are you asking the internet?
Maybe maybe they work for another company. Another
are you trying to
cannabis
steal
operator.
my ideas? Is that what you said?
Espionage?
Well, look, and he jumps right into it. It says, "Don't worry, I'm not looking to trade secrets. I'm mostly interested in the tools you use and how you go about communicating with others in your day-to-day. Communicating with others. I'm also always open to building a relationship with someone new who knows it may benefit you in more ways than you could realize."
Oh,
You have like a magic lamp, like is this the beginning of a spell?
right. You might get a Patronus if you do this.
I might know a secret witch. If this is interesting and a change of pace.
Dinner?
Yeah. I eat dinner every day, dude. Without you.
My pace would be the same. It's 3 meals.
Yeah. Then send me a short paragraph about yourself. What you do currently and how you see yourself growing as this industry continues to evolve.
What?
The gall of that sentence, sky high.
Oh my gosh. What is like, are you
Am I
offering
applying?
a
It sounds to me like you're
job?
applying to talk to me, dude.
You're
And now I'm writing a paragraph about where I see myself in the future of the cannabis industry. Have you ever heard of LinkedIn, dude? Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. You could check it on there. Like I
please-
have my titles.
Yeah, they exist. You know, you have a little resume there. Please leave a number I can call you at, as I will certainly vet, and hopefully you do too, over the phone before we meet for breakfast, lunch, dinner, coffee, etc. That is the post. Compensation box does say free food, and that's it.
Wow.
Whoa.
I mean, it doesn't even sound like a job. It sounds like a friendship interview, you know, like it sounds like someone is really trying to find other friends in the cannabis industry.
Dude, like I'm weirded out because I am creeped out by this post and I can't figure out exactly why. But
yeah, you don't know what he's up to.
There's something weird here that feels like it's just like you're definitely not only after what you're telling me you're after. And I don't know what it is, but there's something else here.
Let's assume the best for a second, because it's one of my favorite games. Let's assume best case scenario. This dude does work for another cannabis company and he is looking to probably develop like software, or, you know what I mean? Like he's trying to get a value add, in this person's terminology, to their workflow or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to do like they're just trying to sell a software, you know what I mean, like a database that like helps manage your fucking crops, or, you know, whatever. I don't know how things go,
Right.
but your payroll, let's say.
Well, they wouldn't want you then, Chase.
They do not. This guy does not want to talk to me, and nobody in the cannabis industry should talk to me. Well, I don't know how it goes. Let's have dinner. You tell me. You want some ketchup? But I best case scenario, this person is looking for trade secrets, and this person is going to, again, best case scenario, become like the Mark Zuckerberg of cannabis.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you will have been paid hash browns, right?
Right.
For your insider information.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
I like that they're like, and it's okay to vet me while we're on the phone. It's no, I'm aware I can vet you. Also, I'm not vetting you because I don't need anything from you. I need that food you're offering.
It's just like, oh, cool. Thanks for letting me know that I can ask you questions too when we talk.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm allowed to be part of the conversation. Thank you.
Oh, good. I have a choice.
Yeah.
I say fuck this place.
Yeah, no. This person sounds fucking. I'll do best case scenario. Best case scenario, this person's fucking weird. That's best case scenario.
Right.
Best case scenario, they're just a weird dude.
You got a ponytail.
Best case scenario, they're opening question
definitely got a ponytail.
So how do you grow weed?
Yeah. Is it water? How much do you think?
Is it
water?
That's the question I would ask. What do you think? Do you need ground? Is some ground?
You need ground.
Yeah. I'm gonna say fuck this place because this guy's got a harebrained scheme and you know he's gonna do bad stuff with it. I think.
Yeah. He's hiding too much of his hand and just wanting to, like, you can't trust anything where they don't tell you that much about themselves and they want to get you in a room with them.
Yeah.
That feels always weird.
Yeah. Right. When you have to give like a biography and you have no idea what it's for, you don't know where it's going to be used. It's going to be like advertising, you know.
Yeah, you're signing an NDA, like
camps, you
sit down.
Yeah. Uyghur camps.
All right, well then, I think across the board, we're just gonna say fuck this place.
Yeah, that's whack.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
Wanted to remind you that you can text the podcast anytime you want.
Night or day, whenever the hell you want.
It's fine. It's the number is 470 bad jobs. The actual numbers are 470-223-5627. That's the number.
So yeah, anytime you want. Like I said, middle of the night, whenever. We don't got jobs right now. Whatever's going on with you is going on with us.
I mean, absolutely. Maybe you still have a job and it's like shitty. You can tell us about that. Maybe you don't have a job and it was shitty before.
Maybe you're getting one of those weird like temperature forehead checks right now.
For sure.
You want to pull out your phone and just say, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm going to text 470 bad jobs.
470-223-5627 is the number. That is the number. And you can also call us if you want, but I mean, whatever. It's your choice. That's the point here.
Okay, so Granison, what is the first job you ever had?
One of the first jobs that I ever had was I was in high school and I used to work at Haven Schoolmate. I can't believe I remember that name.
Haven Schoolmate? Is it
Haven Schoolmates.
Okay, mates. Okay.
Like multiple.
Yeah.
Like pirate friends.
Right, like mateys. Haven Schoolmates. I basically went there. I played wall ball. Do you guys know what wall ball is?
I do.
I think
remember,
we used to call it handball. Where we played. I think we're talking about. Yeah,
but there are. I do remember the thing about wall balls. There's way too many rules for a game called wall ball.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it was a bigger ball.
Yeah.
It was like a big red bouncy ball.
A big red bouncy ball?
Yeah. One of the rubber ones?
Like a dodgeball.
Yeah. And handball, wasn't that like more of like a tennis ball?
Yeah, I think handball is different.
Handball was like the one that could fit into your palm, but like what you're talking about, the game, I know the game you're talking about, and we called it handball. We were just wrong to call it that. But that's what we thought. But it was like you often have to hit it like your hand like this, like kind of because the ball is too big to just slap. You wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
more about the wall than you know what I mean? Like take yourself hands out of it. And so I used to play, like, basically I just like wear those kids out, just crushing them in
You got
wall
it.
ball, and then I make snack for them. And that was actually a pretty chill job. I had like a huge crush on one of the like directors of it. Julie.
Oh yeah.
Julie? Yeah, she had like red hair.
Yeah, the
Shout
directors of
out
those.
to Julie.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
directors of those programs are always like I'd say either cool or hot, almost always. You know.
Yeah.
Because they're like, if you, I don't know, I guess you were, in high school, is that what you said?
Yeah.
And they're like just out of college or like,
Yep.
or late 20s, you know what I mean? So they're like refined, you know what I mean? They got some cool stories,
Yeah.
They're always great.
Those coming of age movies about like summer camps and stuff like that, they get it right.
They
it's
get it
just
100% right.
It's just like, there's the hot girl that works there or whatever. You know?
Yeah, the only thing they get wrong is the amount of times anything actually goes down, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's all
100%
here.
of the time they get that wrong.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, so you're there and you're trying to impress her, so you're just crushing these kids at wall ball.
So I'm making the best snacks. Like I didn't know how to make my own food even then, but for these kids I would figure stuff out. I was making little rich cheese sandwiches, salami, right? I had like moms coming in and being like, my kid thinks you're the greatest. It was like it was kind of the perfect job for like a high schooler whose only skill was being social and childlike.
It's
like,
a great job. I mean, I think it's a pretty good job for high schoolers to take care of kids a little younger than them.
Yeah. And these kids were like third grade and stuff.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They're young enough that, like, again, you can physically overpower them almost always, right? If you need to. And again, like, they think that in the same way that you think that this program manager is cool, they also think you're a fucking
right.
god.
Right. Yeah, you'd have to be like, hey, get away from me, little person. Break time for G money.
Yeah. So they were third grade. You were what, 16, 17? Where were you at?
I was like 6. I think I was 17.
And this is basically an after school program, right?
Yeah. Well, because my school was weird. I got put into like an independent study school, which also was kind of like all of the people who couldn't make it in regular high school were put into this school. And so we got out at like 1:00 the latest.
Oh, okay.
And we could do like a job. We could take college classes, whatever
great.
it was. Yeah. So it was awesome. So I would basically get off at 1, go over there. I don't know why it was after school for them, but maybe little kids.
I mean, kids get out of school at like 2:30 sometimes, So if it's 1:00 and then the transit takes you get there, you're there by, even 1:30 or 2, and then the kids get there by 2:30 or 3, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a normal time frame, I'd say.
Yeah. So a lot of my first 2 jobs were actually like counselors. I was actually a counselor for like the Jewish community centers that I went to when I was a kid growing up. And so I think I actually accidentally broke a kid's collarbone.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And that was not a wall ball incident. It was definitely like a WWE sweep move, unfortunately.
So what were you guys on? You just on the field or whatever, just horsing around? And then
I think we were like, I think we were on a stage and everybody was wrestling. It was like it was like a food fight, not in the cafeteria. So everybody just
it's just a fight.
It was just a regular fight.
Yeah.
Just a pure fight.
Yeah, and I was trying to I didn't in that moment I didn't quite know if whatever was going on was okay, and this kid ran at me, and I just swept him and too hard accidentally, and I remember feeling horrible, but I kept that job, which seems irresponsible.
Well, yeah, but hold on though. He did in fact break his collarbone?
He did.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But also, shit happens, and if a kid is going to run at you full speed.
He was, like he was a raging demon. Like he was charging like an anime character. He just turned into a bunch of lines. And then next thing I know, I swept him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I blacked out. When I come to, they're loading them into the ambulance. They got one of those big brown blankets on them and stuff.
I'm like, hey, little kid, don't charge me. I fight for survival. What are you doing?
Yeah. So
I mean, and again, I think as far as the forgiveness factor goes on something like that, I think that, in whoever is associated with that kid, as soon as they heard, oh, he broke his collarbone because he was he ran full on at a counselor, and the counselor pushed him back. They probably were like, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's
I'm like,
fine. That's pretty par for the course for this kid, right?
Yeah.
He sprints at me all the time. So
Yeah.
it's about time somebody did something about it.
Yeah, I guarantee you were the hero to at least 6 or 7 other kids. Like fucking finally someone fucking shut that kid up.
They were like,
Again, accidents happen. Accidents happen. Collarbones are fragile.
Yeah, charging Chris over here. Finally got put in his little place.
So this happened at a different place than your first place.
Yeah. Havens was pretty cool. And I really didn't have a ton of problems. It was less of like a fuck you situation and more of like I'm glad I can buy comic books with this money. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like it was kind of a crazy deal.
How did you land the job?
I don't remember at all. I don't remember applying.
You just showed up.
I just must have been walking by and was like, I know how to play that game. I don't know.
It's called wall ball. How hard can it be?
Oh, okay.
No,
yeah, sorry. I got confused again. Because I thought for a second, I was like, are you telling me that you broke a kid's collarbone? And then we're like, I don't know how I got here. Like,
no. I know how I got to the JCC. I was a camper. And then later I was looking for a job and I applied there and they're like, we know you from 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
You used to be here.
Yeah, the camper.
Apologize. That was my bad.
The camper to counselor pipeline, very strong.
Easy.
In any category.
Yeah, I just put the person who's interviewing me as the recommendation. It's great.
Hey, this kid's fine. He's got incredible wood carving skills or whatever.
But I think I didn't want to do any college classes because I was like very self-aware in high school. So I was like, I don't want to be the weird kid in college. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Although you didn't know at the time, because I would have thought the exact same thing. But like you would be taking community college classes, and community colleges, it's a huge gradient of people, shall we say?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, so everyone would be like, yeah, here's the high schooler. Who cares?
There's a high schooler. We won't talk to him. He's only getting high school credit.
But I for sure would make the same decision. Would be like, I'm not going over there. I'm scared.
It's like, bro, those people are old. I'm good.
Yeah.
So after you busted this kid's collarbone, all this shit, is the fight over? Is like the ruckus over, or is it still going on and he's just like all like on the ground?
I definitely, if you're asking if I left this child to his own devices, no, I helped. And I was like, I got an actual adult and was like, hey, he looks hurt. Yeah. Can we talk about this? And then they were like,
he looks hurt. It was me. Can we talk about this?
And then I remember it being like, Josh was the counselor at the time, and he was like, he sat me down, and I remember feeling uncomfortable for him. Like me, I knew it was an accident. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to just sabotage this kid's collarbone. So when I saw Josh's face, he was like, I don't want to have to talk about this with Granison. But I have to. And like, so he just like, was just, hey, so what happened? And I was like, everybody was kind of wrestling. He charged me. I turned around, got lightning fast reflexes. and next thing I know, he was on the ground. And I didn't realize he had fallen so hard. I had no idea. But he definitely was hurt. And he was a kid who was like, he was not the kid that would be walking in nature. You know what I mean? He was a kid that needed the coach from earlier.
And he learned a lesson that day, I'll tell you what.
But that day, like had he had that coaching, he would have known how to roll. You know what I mean? Just a back combat roll that would have made it happen.
I think your question seemed to have two parts, Nick, and we got the first part. But the second part was like, was that a record scratch moment for everybody else, or did the rest of the fights continue?
It was definitely a record scratch moment. Like there was whoever was around us roughhousing in a more gentle fashion, I guess. They all kind of like parted and were just like,
yeah. Well,
like,
they were roughhousing with comparable forces. You know what I mean? It's a seventh grader versus a seventh grader, or whatever it is. Third grader versus third grader.
These kids, they were like, it just got real. You know what I mean? They thought they didn't know what roughhousing was until that happened.
They were like, Granison crushed Charging Charlie with his calloused wall ball hands.
That's a wall ball throw.
He just came down on him and like boom, right into his collarbone and just crushed him. Like you were planting a flag in his collarbone.
Have you guys seen the anime Baki?
No.
No, I know what you're talking about. That's just
like
where
a
they just beat the
judo
shit
throw.
out of each other in that.
It was a judo throw from
Uh-huh.
that, like full leg extended. It was second nature for some reason. I guess
Uh-huh.
I've been a
Well,
combat.
survival comes in, when someone is sprinting full on.
Oh my god!
You
Yeah.
got to do something. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you will get run over and your collarbone is, in jeopardy, shall we say.
Right. Yeah, we don't wanna
It ain't
have-
gonna be my collarbone. It's gonna be your collarbone.
Right, he could have busted my hip.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Man. And I'm sure that kid's fine.
Uh-huh.
He says.
I think he is fine.
He's got to be fine. It's probably weird that like something that was a huge event for him in his life is now getting brought up on a podcast.
Right.
Hundreds
You're
of
out
miles
there.
away, If you're out there, shout outs and thank you for the story.
Yeah.
Or since then, it's just like, oh, I break my collarbone all the time now.
Yeah. I mean, collarbones really are very breakable.
What's crazy is I continued to be a counselor there, and I saw all the phases of his healing. So like he had like a sling, and then and he forgave me. So I was like, all right, we're good. You know what I mean? Because I don't want this kid to be whatever. Yeah, they were they were surprisingly chill about it, but I felt horrible. And
That's all right. We all grow, including collarbones.
yeah.
How long were you in those kind of that
So I was in
category
those
of
jobs that was all kind of before I graduated high school and then went off to the Navy briefly. And then I would say like one of the most it feels like a sitcom just talking about it. When I came back from the Navy, I was working seasonally at Sears, and then that job ended and I had to get another job, and I had to take 3 buses to get to this Blockbuster that I started working at. And because I was in Oakland, I lived in East Oakland, and it was in Berkeley. It was on Shattuck. Nick, do you know Berkeley that well?
Not well enough to know the streets. No, I've been through a few times.
Right. I'm like, it's left of the big boys. No, and so I would get there, and I did not see this human when I interviewed or anything, but he apparently was the manager. And this dude legit had hand puppets, and wore them at work.
What?
Like,
hold on. All the time, or like for a specific
all of the
scenario?
time.
Okay, on his
Every
hands.
moment I was there, he would have 2 conversations with me. He would have a conversation as himself, where he would constantly misname me as Mr. Grant, which is neither of my names, right? He'd be like, hey, Mr. Grant, how you been? And that was like, I think his name was Greg, and he was sweet, right? That was good. And depending on the hand puppet, Greg got real gully depending on who it was. So if it was Piglet, 2 sweets, right? We had, hey, Mr. Grant, and Piglet would be like, Piglet says hello. He didn't have different voices, right?
Yeah,
He just had the same kind of puppet voice for everybody. But if Tigger was out, it was threatened to write Granison up time. Like he would be like, hey, Mr. Grant, how you doing? Tigger just wanted to say you need to hurry up, otherwise he's gonna fire you. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
Oh boy.
What?
Do you want to tell Tigger I'll do my best? Because it felt like somebody sleepwalking. Like you don't want to tell them it's not what's going on. You know what I mean? You don't want to stop them because this might be his only tether to reality.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Like,
and you're just trying to clock in and clock
he
out.
might be like, someone stole my hand. Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay. All right. How did he perform normal non-puppet operations in this? Like, you know what I mean? How did he open a door? Did he just use the
had
puppet?
a real strong other hand?
Uh-huh.
Oh, So this is when I was like, oh, okay, I just got to go along with this dude. Because at first I was gonna like start really kind of correcting and being like, this is inappropriate. Like I can't be written up by a tiny tiger.
Yeah.
You can't threaten that. He doesn't even have a social security number. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you are from the 100-acre wood. I will not have this.
Right. None of that, dude. The most wonderful thing about tigers is they got the spring, not that they write people up.
I thought tigers is a wonderful thing, sir.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And so I tried to check in with him and I was like, hey man, how many hand puppets do you have? Right? Reasonable question. He goes, I have one for every day of the year, Mr. Grant. And I was like, you have 365 hand puppets? And he goes, no, 4, silly.
I hate this guy.
I have no idea
I
what
hate
Greg was
this
talking
man.
about, but there is no year where there's only 4 days on any planet science knows.
Also, what a weird way to say you have 4 puppets.
Just say that.
What a weird way to say your right hand never sees the light of day.
Right. But then in hindsight, I was looking at it and he's right. He does have a puppet for every day of the year, as long as he brings a puppet every day of the year.
Oh yeah, no, he's right.
Yeah,
But in the wrong way.
So wrong.
Yeah. No, like he just stepped over answering your question directly to go to the question in your head and just to say, yes, I do have a problem, if that's what you're asking me. Yes, I'm fucking insane.
That job all around was ridiculous. I worked also with it was like this Russian dude who was really into his like spider. He had like a spider car. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
all
a car.
right.
Oh, yeah. I thought
I
you
was
were
like, man,
not
this guy
his
got a pet
spider.
I'm
You
out
oughta
of
be
here.
done.
Yeah.
You'd have been like, I have a black widow in my car. You're like,
But this is actually worse, I would say. If you had a pet spider and you're into it, I'm like, all right, get your freak on, dude. But like, you're into a car, the spider car, like, what?
I didn't know, and I told him off bat. I was like, "Yo, I don't know anything about cars, so I don't know when you say stuff if I'm supposed to be impressed."
Yeah,
like,
same.
Because like when I was younger, I was like, I just will say what I feel. But back in the day, I would not have any tact about it. So I'd just be like, I don't know what you're talking about when you say that stuff.
Yeah.
So what is?
Well, I think it's also super fair. You know what I mean? Like, do you know that I
Uh-huh.
don't, and the world doesn't share your values? You know, like,
Yeah.
everybody doesn't know exactly what you mean. You know,
right.
Mhm.
Glad you made it, Vladimir. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm trying to ring this person up.
Also,
Stop.
we're both at Blockbuster right now, so I don't think you made anything, dude.
We are 100% parallel at the register right now. So we're in the same space. I take the bus. Now you're just showing off.
Yeah. Well, it's like weird that it's just like, dude, it's crazy that you want to just talk about your car when there's a guy with a fucking hand puppet running around here. Like, can we talk about him?
You answer to Piglet and Tigger.
Yeah. And you want to talk about your car? Can we take your car to get the fuck out of here?
Yeah. Can we drive around and find other jobs?
Yeah.
It's a 2-seater, right? We fit. That was actually the first job I also had ever had an edible at.
On the job, you mean? Yeah.
That seems like the worst job to have an edible at when you have that boss running around.
Oh my God.
Like,
it was a terrible idea, but it was a trick. It was a trick that my friends played on me.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I had been at a birthday.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd been at a birthday party and I'm sitting there, on my way to work because somebody they were like, yo, stay at the party a little bit longer. We'll drive you there if that gets you there faster so you don't have to leave right now. Because I basically
No,
got to the party and had to leave 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
And so I was like, cool. So I'm in the back seat, feeling partied up a little bit. I don't think I was like crazy. I was just had a good time. And I look over and next to me, like it was supposed to be wearing its seatbelt, is a piece of cake. So I'm like, hey, you guys know there's a piece of cake back here, right? And they're like, yeah, it's a little birthday cake. Have some frosting. So I was like, sounds dope. I love sugar. And I did. And I tasted weird, tasted real weird. And and I was like, it tastes kind of weird. And they were like, yeah, it's got weed in it. And I was like, okay, I don't do weed a lot and I have to go to work right now. That's where we're headed. What's it gonna do to me? Right. I had no idea. I was like, I've smoked weed a couple times, but I've never eaten it. So what? and it tasted like nothing but weed, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they go, it's no big deal. It'll kick in about an hour and you'll just be chill.
Mhm.
So I get to work. An hour goes by. I'm regular as hell. I'm like, I'm not more chill. I'm not less chill. Greg, luckily it's a piglet day, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank
And
God.
it's a piglet day. Thank God, because I was not sure what would happen. And then about 2 hours in, I got switched from like organizing the movies to register. They were like, hey, Mr. Grant, could you go and ring people up, right? So I go, absolutely. Also, my name's still Granison.
Intolerable.
If you ever want to say it. If you want to
say it.
If it slips out, no, that's right. And so I get on the register and I'm ringing this lady up and she hands me her Blockbuster card. And then all of a sudden it's just, do you have your Blockbuster card?
Yeah.
And she's like, what? I just handed it to you. It's in your hand. And I look and I cannot stop laughing. I just am like, and like losing my shit, right? And I ring her up. A bunch of people know. At least when you're high, you think they know. Right? Like people are walking up, I'm cheesing.
But I do think it's reasonable. I mean, honestly, in your case, you know, like in the Bay Area, for people to know that you're high. You know, like, I've been in this kid's shoes before. You know what I mean? Like even in that, you know, like it's. I'm just saying. I think you were right. I think people knew.
Yes. Yeah, it was like you know how you remember the show The Highlanders, how people would like the Highlanders would realize another Highlander was there. I always feel that way when I'm high with other high people. I'm like, and so I'm there and I bring a bunch of people up. People are happy. Some people think it's funny. Some people are like actually just root me on. They're like, hey, go ahead.
Hell yeah, dude.
This written Care Bears for my kids. Stay high, bro.
And Total Recall for me.
And like my Russian manager is like full on brag car mode, and he did it every shift. Like it was, and he didn't do new shit. He was just like, did I tell you about my muffler? And I'd be like, yeah. And he'd be like, oh, I still got it. And you'd be like, that makes sense.
Tell me about the doors. There's two.
Oh yeah, there's two, dude. You can get in, you can get out. It's a crazy device.
Cup holders.
Cup holders done. And so I look over to him and I'm trying my best when I turn to him to not be high. I'm trying my best. And at that time I had no experience doing that. So I'm like, hey man. And he's like, yeah. I go, where's the exit key? And he's looking at me. And he doesn't quite, I don't think he smoked weed because he didn't quite know what was wrong with me. He just knew something was. The exit key is right there, right? I meant escape. I just kept saying exit
top
key.
Left. Yeah.
He's just like, right there. And then I could not stop laughing again. I just started being like, ha ha. And went home. Same friends picked me up. I was pissed. I was like, yo, if Tigger didn't write me up before, I'm definitely getting written up.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Well, one clarification that I feel like I finally sussed out. You're telling me, because you said Tigger Day or Piglet Day, he chose which puppet he had, and he had another hand that was free. Is that correct?
Yes. He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't dual wielding puppets.
You just walk in, just sort of like trying to catch it, like trying to catch a look at his forearm.
Yeah, I just walk in and be like, "Oh man, what kind of day is it going to be? Who's on?" Right? Because like, you know, like, is Greg on today? Is he doing the morning shift? And yeah, you would know, and it felt like when he started the day, he wanted it to be a surprise which one it was, because when you'd walk up to him at the beginning of the shift to be like, "Hey, where do you want me to start?" He wouldn't have it up. He only pulled it out when he was talking with it. So
he put it behind his back or something, or just
he'd have it behind his back, and then he'd be like, "And I just wanted, Piglet just wanted to say you're doing a great job."
Oh my fucking god!
Cool. So you think, like, for sure though, he's the puppet and the puppet's controlling him, right? That's what's going on. Like, I feel like
I
this is
100%
very,
think that in hindsight.
I've seen this Twilight Zone. I know this Batman villain. Like, it's like that puppet's alive and it's
That
controlling
puppet
him.
is actually
He found the
good.
puppets in like an old chest in his grandma's house. And his grandma was in the Salem witch trials or something.
Yeah.
And she cast a spell over them or something.
I feel like the puppet is a symbiote that wears puppets so that no one knows it's a symbiote and reanimated the corpse of Greg
Right.
to manage that blockbuster.
Yeah.
And just to lay low.
Yeah. And now everyone's like, oh crap, the corpse of Greg is here.
well, here's the thing. You can't not hire Greg. That's a huge lawsuit. The symbiote knows stuff. You know what I mean? Like, if he's there in the interview and he's like using his emotional hand puppet, right? Like, you're going to be like, all right, I'll give him a break. We'll make him manager. I never understood how he made it so far.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, this is so great, Mr. Tigger. Now no one can stop us.
Yeah.
I was like, no one can stop us.
I was like, I used to be the only minority here, but he definitely has his niche, you know?
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
Okay. So somehow that's still only like your first set of jobs. Yeah. So that's crazy. But okay, Granison, what would you say is the worst job you've ever had?
And before you answer, it's fucking nuts that it's not this situation with the Blockbuster. So please carry on.
Honestly, man, like I would say being a stripper in college was probably the worst job that I've had. I've had jobs that actually like were more stressful day to day, but like when you're like mismanaged in stripping, like, and I wasn't like at a club, you know, leaning against a pole being like, slow day guys, you know, like that wasn't my thing. I was doing private parties and
fuck, man.
And oh my God, if you have a bad manager at that, it's the worst, right? Because there's so much upkeep. You got to shave. Yeah. You got to be ready. You got to go meet the bouncer and then buy whipped cream. We always bought whipped cream on the way. For some reason, the owner didn't like have a fridge that we could stop at the house at and pick some up.
Right.
You know, you had to buy your own.
Yeah. So tell me how does this work? You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God,
the chain of, you know, they book you, you have this manager who, you know, assigns you to it. Is that, how does that work?
So this is what happened. So I was working at Sierra Nevada at the time. And at the time I was a hydroceramic engineer, which meant that I was a dishwasher. And so I was doing that. And one of my hydroceramic
you working at like their tap
friends,
room or something? Is that what you're saying? Like,
yeah, I was working at their, like their restaurant. Cause they had a big room for events and then a restaurant. Yeah. And I was working there and I used to dance and sing all the time, which is like, I was being stereotypical, but it was like who I was, you know? And so my friend was like, hey, have you ever thought about stripping? And I was like, not till just now. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like for girls? And then he was like, no, like as a job. And I was like, never in my life. What are you talking about? And then he's like, well, I have a friend who makes like $500 a night.
Right.
So I was like, $500 a night in Chico?
Yeah. Yeah.
In Chico, California, 80,000 people total. 20,000 of them go to the school and 250 of them are Black in Chico?
Yeah. Chico.
Yeah. And he's like, no, Vegas. And I was like, different place. I live here.
Yeah.
And so he was like, but I think that you could even make like half of that and it would be great. And at the time I was making $675 at Sierra Nevada an hour.
Per hour. Yeah.
Which was like affordable in Chico, but at the same time, like nothing.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. Right? Correct.
And so I go, how would I even do that? And he's like, well, you could go to Marquee Entertainment, and shout out to Marquee. What up, Lee? Hope you're still paintballing. And so he goes, yeah. And I was like, really? And so I heard the money and I was like, yo, I could save so much time. I said, how much, you know, how do you know anything else about stripping? Oh, strip guru of mine. He's like, I don't really know much. You should probably talk to the owner of Marquee. I think he holds auditions. So I looked it up in the paper because the internet wasn't as useful then. And I go there and I go, hey, I'm here to audition. And he's this like roided out, buff ass, like Asian dude who's named Lee, who's just like, yeah, come on in. And I was like, okay. And so he goes, stand over there, just strip down to your underwear and just turn around. I just got to see, you know, where you're at. Maybe if you need to build some more muscle or anything. And I was like, okay. So I did, you know, I was just in my boxers and I turned around and he's like, you gained 10 pounds of muscle, you're hired. And I was like, okay. He's like, 1 second, just show me some dance moves. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, you know, doing my best Usher impersonation, right? Like I'm not letting it burn yet. I'm just like, you know, slow jamming it.
Yeah.
And, just to keep tabs on where we're at. You are in a room dancing for a buff Asian dude who's telling you to put on muscle.
A jacked Asian dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not afraid for my life. I'm not worried. I feel like I could outrun him if I need to. He like if I would have gone in there and he would have been like, yo, take it all off, I'd have been like, no,
well, and also this is a real business in the sense that like you were at a location, right? There's an office or some kind.
It was his house.
Okay, fine. His house.
He had an office. His office there was a room.
His office was a waterbed.
It was a living room. Yeah. It was a living room, and he had separated it with this big desk.
Okay, yeah, but nonetheless, the business has a logo. You know what I mean? Like,
Marquee Entertainment is probably still going strong
and a reputation. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's a big difference between like I'll meet you in a park,
right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, again,
it's a real logo. It's not like Cool Spot from 7-Up. Like it's like I remember that from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Just like stole a corporate logo from the 90s.
God, yeah, it was, and so I did. Like he gave me a month to build the weight. I don't know why I would need a time frame because technically I could just say I don't want the job. You know what I mean? Like, But he told me, he's like, come back in a month. I was like, what? Why are you putting limits on me? But and so I did. I worked out for a month straight, got real strong, and then that's when training comes in. Now, at most jobs, when you train, you shadow somebody doing what you're going to do.
Of course.
And in stripping, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
I went to a lot of parties and just spectated another dude dancing his ass off naked mostly.
You were like, oh, okay, all right.
Like, so there it is, the dirty wine. Okay, jumping wine.
But just out of curiosity, you're just hanging out with, you know, whoever the spectators are, and like. And the, you know, the person who's training you says like, this is Granison, he's in training, just let him watch.
No, they don't bring me up at all. So no, they didn't introduce me. They were
you just went, you're just some creep that's at the party watching this guy dance.
So here's how they would do it. The person who was training would be the bouncer for that night, which is not a great idea.
Oh, I see.
The person who's bouncing that night has never trained as a bouncer.
Yeah, they're not bouncers.
So I'm a driver who sets the rules, and I had to learn the rules that day, right? Like on the way to the party, the guy was like, yeah, so you got to tell people, you set up the light, you set up the CD, right? And then you let the ladies know there's no biting, there's no G-string snapping, there's no reaching into your crotch. You just break it down for them and let them know what's going to be happening. So I do that. And what was crazy was one of the places I trained, one of the first parties that I went to was a baby shower.
Tight.
Okay.
And I'm like, is this their tradition?
Going to 11 on a baby shower.
Right. And I'm like, there's like a 16-year-old in there. And like, I don't know. There's a grandma.
It's like a Mother's Day brunch.
She can't walk. Like, I'm like, what is the...
They're like, Grant, we got a stripper for the bounce house, everybody. Get him in there.
It's time. Let's deliver this baby into this world. And like people are getting up and getting snacks like while he's doing his thing. And so like they're treating it like this is like a regular thing. I'm like, did they have one last time? Like,
right. Yeah.
And I've already said my piece. And what happens is this like they finally in the middle of the dance decide that the 16-year-old shouldn't be there, which is reasonable.
Yeah, right? Super reasonable.
Offense too soon, right?
Yeah.
She gets sent to the next room, which is like, why even? Okay.
Yeah.
And the grandma sees me, and I guess like one thing I found out from other bouncers was women in those situations, they are interested in what they can't have more than they're interested in what is there, right?
Yeah, so they want a bouncer.
Oily buff dude who's just like doing his thing, and then there's me who's like fully clothed and really not interested, right? Like, and they're like, the grandma's like, come over here, and I was like, oh, I'm just training, right? Like, which is a weird thing to say to a grandma, like, you can't. And so I go over, and I'm like, what do you need? And she goes, you don't even have to take your clothes off. I just want you to dance. And so I was like, that's fair. Like, this grandma can't walk, so she probably just needs a 2-step in her life. You know what I mean? Like, I just start, you know, I do this. She hands me $20 and then $2.50 in quarters.
The most grandma move of all time.
I was like, you could keep this 1930s payment. Like, what? And like, I told the guy, I was like, hey man, she gave me money. I want to give it to you. Cause we would get like, as a bouncer, you get like 15% of this episode should be called How to Be a Stripper in Chico.
It might be. It might be called that. Yeah.
And he was like, no, dude, like, you earned that. I get it. And I was like, I don't know if I did. This is like 4 hours of work at my regular job. And so I went to 2 more parties. One of them, it got kind of like racial, like not in a bad way towards me. I was a bouncer. And when you would go as a stripper, the first 3 songs would be you going around getting money off people, really focusing on like the lady of the night, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, you take a break, which I don't know why you needed to, because you're just collecting money with your mouth mostly.
And money is like, fucking.
It's not
filthy.
like my jaw's tired. I don't know what was going on. And so you take a break, change G strings, and then come back out.
A little outfit change, you know.
Yeah, you know, just a little different presentation. And while the other bouncer this was my last training job, third party was a charm. That was my probation period.
Just 3 parties.
You just that's how apparently after 3 times you know how to be a stripper.
I mean, honestly, I guess in these circumstances, you obviously picked it up. It's not that complicated, right? You know the flow.
No, apparently, you know, occasionally you pick somebody up. Sometimes you turn them around. You know, it's just it's simple shit, and most of it's you know. So, and so what happened was, when he was in on his break, they all came over to me and were like, hey, we don't really like white guys. And I was like, oh, well, I'm training, so I can't really even help you with that preference of people. And they were like, I mean, this guy's okay, but can you just do his other half? And I was like, I'm pretty sure that breaks a code of some kind. Like, stripper code is a man doesn't strip at another man's party.
It's so funny that they're just like, oh, this guy, he's just like, he's a white guy. He's just up there. He's dancing to Spin Doctors.
He's
got Smash Mouth playing.
How come it's all ska? Everything he's dancing to is ska.
You just don't think Blink 182 is sexy.
Playing that butterfly song.
Come my lady.
Oh my God.
That is a dude stripper song though.
Just to say, I feel like I'm going behind his back because they've made me into this situation.
Yeah, definitely.
And so what happened was, now I'm graduated, right? I am officially a marquee entertainment stripper.
Birth by fire.
I was going to use my regular name, and the manager was like, don't do that. And I was like, you probably know best. And he was like, think of a name. I say, okay, well, what about DeMonte? And he said, too urban, lot of, it's just not that type of area. And I was like, fair enough, too aggressive for white people, DeMonte.
And it's all white people that you're dancing.
Mostly. It was like, I swear to you, there was 250 Black students at Chico State. City of 80,000. So like every day was Black acknowledgement if you found one of us. It was like an Easter egg hunt you didn't know you were part of. And so I'm there. And so for the first part of the night, I got booked on the same night that somebody else had a party an hour before. So I was his bouncer, Matt, a diesel ass white dude who just like was overcompensating in every aspect of his life. Like
he was like, no, bro, we're listening to Spin Doctors.
Dude, like he barely could hold the steering wheel. He was just like in his truck and had 4 15s in the back.
What does that mean?
That's speakers.
Oh man,
15,
come on.
Like
dude.
15 speakers?
15-inch speakers. So they're huge. Like they're just big ass, like
in a truck.
In a truck. So I can't hear shit he's saying. He's trying to tell me about all of the intricacies of my first night.
He's got Dave Matthews Band just cranked
just
up to 25.
Blaring.
But he was one of those dudes that was like trying to impress me as a black person. This happened. I don't know if you've experienced it, but sometimes there's white dudes who are just like, so you like rap? And you're like, that's a weird.
Ever heard of 50 Cent?
You're like, yeah. You like $50? And so I'm trying to understand what he's saying, but it's too loud and it's hurting my heart. It's just and he's like telling me, imagine someone talking to you, you can't hear shit. And so when I get to the party, it's fine. He does his thing. We're on our way back, and I'm like, hey, could we turn the volume all the way off just so you could tell me whatever you said before we got here? We're on the way. He goes, just main thing, man, like, you know, have a good time. Okay, it's like fair. And then he was like, and also, if I can just tell you one thing to think about, never give them the whipped cream. And I was like, why? And he was like, because they get excited and they waste it. And there goes your money. And I was like,
this is a real pro tip.
That makes sense. Right. I was like, I would never give them the whipped cream. Right. So I get to the party. It's kind of like in stand up. It's like never give someone the microphone, fucking ever. Like don't even put it in their face. You have the mic at all times because they're gonna be shitty with it. They don't know how to use it. Yeah, you're gonna waste your 7 minutes that you get in LA.
Yeah.
Or 4. Yeah. 4, and you gotta buy a pizza.
Whole pizza. But yeah, don't give them the whipped cream. Don't give them the whipped cream.
So I'm like, I'm locked in. I know the rules. This is the game, right? And I did not have a myriad of stripper outfits. I had to borrow Lee's army outfit, actually, which didn't really fit because he's like half my size.
But isn't that kind of the fun? It didn't really
vertically, fit? You know what I mean? He's like twice my size. Width wise.
Yeah.
So I forgot how to say horizontal just now.
I like vertical though.
Width wise, just girthy. And
width wise.
Yeah. You got vertical and you got width. Don't you know that? Vertical and width wise and vertical.
So we pull up to these like cheap apartments that were in Chico, which is most of them. And I get out. And I was wearing my I call it my salesman outfit, but I would say it's like my used salesman, and not just just any salesman, just used whatever I was selling, because I had a 2-tone suit. So I had like these white velvety pants and this not army surplus, but a Goodwill blazer with a shitty tied tie. I think Lee had to teach me how to tie my tie.
Whatever you're selling, it's sad.
It's sad, right? It's like goldfish bowls. You know what I mean? Like that would be sad.
Old cell phones.
And I get in, and it's probably like, I don't know, a quarter of the Black female population in Chico, which I'm like, yo, they're gonna show me what's up. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, this is how you do it. I was like, and so, but I was like,
fake ass name's probably not even really DeMonte.
Man, your name ain't even. And I settled on Kelvin. Kelvin
or Calvin?
Kelvin. It's harmless.
Yeah, no, you're right.
No one is going to be like, it's like got beat up by a man named Kelvin.
Yeah. Kelvin at the most is going to yell at somebody on the phone.
Right.
He's not even going to hang up hard. You know, he's going to say good day when he hangs up.
Well, goodbye.
Well, adios.
Well, then I will see you at that meeting. Boom.
Correct.
And so I'm Kelvin. I go in the bathroom, and at that time, I'm really glad I got past this phase. But I was in the phase where I would get gassy when I was nervous, which is not the best thing ever.
Respect.
Right.
Mhm.
It's never a good thing. Might be good for clearing lines at like a Costco, but like
Yeah.
not good for stripping with your ass out. And so I'm in the bathroom and I can hear them talking. They're like, "Oh, you look cute," to the bouncer, but then they're also like, "Yeah, but the guy we got is real cute too. He looks nice. I wonder what he's gonna do." Right. And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, "What am I gonna do?"
Yeah. What is Kelvin gonna do?
Like, yo, I've been watching Genuine. I've been watching Usher videos. I know, you know what I mean? In those jeans, got it. And so I get my, have my suit on. He puts the music on. He goes, "Hey, you ready?" I said, "Yeah." And my first song was Pony, Genuine.
Dude,
right?
I fucking knew. I almost made a joke earlier about Pony. I was like, "Did you dance to Pony?"
Yes.
That is the quintessential,
Yes.
like a guy trying to be sexy song.
Yeah.
Yes. That Peaches and Cream by 112.
Oh yeah, Peaches and Cream. That's another banger.
So good. I don't remember my third song, honestly, but I think it might have been Usher. I Came to the Party. Like, I don't know what you came to do, girl. Which is a little on the nose, but I feel like it was appropriate.
I think this is the time for things to be on the nose.
Right.
You got whipped cream,
And so what they do, they set up the main girl. It was a birthday girl, and they put money. They make a money tree out of her body, and they put her in a chair, and you go over and you dance with her for like a song and a half, and you end up getting all the money. And
song and a half's a long time.
That's a long time.
It's like that could be 4 minutes.
That's a long time. And so then you go around the room and get dollars off of her friends and stuff, right? And because I had been watching so many people pick people up, for whatever reason, my thing was picking up the biggest girl every party, like just to show my gains. You know what I mean? Like I had worked hard for this.
It's really actually kind of it could be a good trick,
Yeah.
Diffusing everybody, you know what I mean? Like everyone's like, oh yeah, like this guy's here for everybody,
Yeah. They're like, he's wiry but strong, So that's
check out his fireman's carry.
Right. That's all legs he's using. It's all legs.
John Cena over here.
Calvin Cena.
Calvin Cena.
And so like that part actually goes pretty well. I'm doing my thing. There's a couple tricks that I learned that, if you describe them, they don't really make a lot of sense. You had to be there moments. And I make it through. It's break time. I go in there, I change it to my leopard print G-string. I was so excited about this. And what's weird is I got that from like Walmart, I think. Which is where you get all your premium G-strings from.
Number one distributor in the world of those.
Absolutely. And that's when you just come out in your G-string. So I go out and it's party favor time. And for those that don't know the private party stripper game, at least for Marquee, party favors were like whipped cream races, sometimes just like whipped cream somewhere, G-string shots where you put the G-string in the top of your you put the shot in the top of your G-string, have the girl kneel down and you tip it in, right?
Yeah.
Very fun stuff, right?
Some games,
Yes. Family games. And so I'm making hella money because every person who does a whipped cream race has to pay me $5. Which is like my hourly rate at my original job. So I'm like, yo, I just made an hour of pay in 2 seconds, basically.
What's the whipped cream race? What happens?
So I lay down and I put whipped cream on each side of my body in little plots of whipped cream.
Yeah, little lines.
Light, so we can keep the races going. You know what I mean? And it ends at my collarbone, bringing it back around. And they go up and then the next people come. They go, oh, I just want like you to put it somewhere and I'll lick it off. Right. This is fun stuff. And I remember people when I would tell them, they were like, isn't it exciting? And I was like, it's actually probably the most uncomfortable thing in the world because you're there for money. And like people are like, ooh, like, and you're like, no, dude, I'm here for literally the money you're about to give me. Compartmentalize. And so like I am pumped. Money is flying. I've done several whipped cream races. I've had a body shot from a navel. And some girl comes up and goes, can I put it? And I am not thinking about the wise words of Matt, the muscular guru. I go, of course, here. So she just puts a mound of whipped cream on my junk, which is not exposed.
Yeah.
This is, it's just it's Tarzan.
He puts on a G-string.
Yeah.
And she goes to town, and I'm like, that was great. Who's next? Well, it's empty.
Yeah.
My whipped cream is done. Right. So I look up at Matt, right, for like some sort of fatherly approval. I'm like, Matt, what do I do? He goes, and so I was like, okay. And out of nowhere, the two largest ladies I had ever seen came out of like the stairwell and were like, I think I got something in the fridge. And I was like, what? And they were like, I think I got something in the fridge. So I was like, okay, I thought I heard you say that. What does that mean? And so one of them disappears and the other one says, I want to ride too. And I don't like that phrasing because I am a human, not a horse or a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And so they come back and they have a strawberry syrup and they have a chocolate syrup.
Oh, shit.
And I go,
fuck, dude.
Not whipped cream.
What? And they were like, lay on your belly. And so I have to give a disclaimer. I was like, no butt stuff.
Yeah.
Like, okay, right? So I'm laying on my belly, really hoping that they stick to the rules, right?
Yeah, which is not a great thing.
Right.
To say,
right.
I'm just really hoping these people stick to the rules.
Yeah, it's a trust fall, but you're already on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah, correct. You've already given up that you're going to be able to do anything about it.
Right. And so what ends up happening is they both just start making like swirl spirals on my butt cheeks and like humming, right? They're like, and the entire party is silent, like it's some sort of like sacred ritual that these friends have, it was really their party, apparently. And they get it all up. And that's the end of the party. I go, all right, that's it, ladies. Enough with the swirls. And Matt drives me back to where Lee's house, where we settle up with money, and I go about my day. Well, at the time, I did not have a car. My car was in the shop, and so I was riding my bicycle, and I still had strawberry and chocolate syrup stuck to my pants. So I'm just like, just like going through trying to get home, and my roommates were like, you did that tonight? And I was like, yeah. They're like, want to get drunk? And I was like, yeah, I do. And it went on for about 5 months, but Lee honestly was a terrible manager, so he would let me know, like I told him when I was available, and he would let me know like half an hour before, which you have to shave your whole body. And one time I thought I could make it. I show up at this party. I'm ready. This is like 4 parties in. I know my way around the land, right? I'm grinding on the birthday girl, and she like rubs my belly and goes, nice abs. And later I get a complaint that I had too much stubble. Like, you got to make sure you shave, man. I was like, you gotta give me enough time. I got to get home and shit.
You got to give me more than 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's unreasonable.
That's very unreasonable to shave your entire body and show up on time.
And show up on time.
If somebody was like, all right, you got to shave your entire body in 30 minutes, I'd be like, all right, I guess you could make that happen. You know what I mean? If you're prepped for it, right? But like to go somewhere, no.
And I went to, there was 2 parties that like I really distinctly remember. One of the parties, no one spoke English.
That's tough.
It was
hard to make rules.
Spanish.
Spanish.
No one spoke Spanish on my side, right? So I'm there, and there's a thing that you do that's like a barrel, not a barrel roll because that's Star Fox shit, but like you basically like hold the lady's leg, and they kind of do a plank. And you pretend like you're behind them or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, like a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the wheelbarrow. Yeah.
There's a way to get into it, but the person has to not resist. They have to go with it, right? And what happened was she didn't know what was going on, and she didn't have the arm strength to be a wheelbarrow. She immediately, when it's plank time, just boop on her face. And I go, And I'm like, hey, are you okay? And she doesn't know what I'm saying. She just doesn't want anyone to see up her skirt. She's just like, And I was like, I'm not trying to look up your skirt. She doesn't know what I'm saying. I'm just doing this. And she's like,
you're going, ay caramba.
no one in the family is like doing anything. They're just like, this is what she does. Like, I don't know why.
This is what she does.
She's always falling
waiting
on
for
her
her
face.
to get her off.
Oh man, she always falling on her face.
Always falling on her face and covering up.
So you did this whole thing for 5 months. I mean, was the money what you wanted it to be?
Oh my God, the money, I would do it again.
Yeah.
On average, I would make $250, and really it was for an hour, but it would go until they ran out of money. So
oh fuck,
really is not. I don't have to stay there the whole time if I'm not getting paid.
Right. So if it's 45 minutes, it's 45 minutes. You know?
Yeah. If you spend your whole life savings in the second half of the party favors and stuff, that's you. I'll see you later. There's no incentive.
Yeah.
And so I would make an average of like $250 for 40 minutes of work.
Right.
Wow.
That's great.
Right. And that's after I paid the bouncers.
Was it frequent enough?
That was the thing. He was such a bad manager, right? Like you would think, I mean, not that I'm trying to be tokenized at all, but like I was the only black stripper in his company, right? So you would think like, hey, get this man some parties, right? He's got the abs. What's good? Kelvin, get him work. And so it wasn't frequent enough, which was one of the reasons I kind of stopped. And also the last party I did just made me hella uncomfortable, even more uncomfortable than the baby shower, because I wasn't dancing that party, right?
Sure.
I went to this little town, starts with an L, and I forget, it was in between like Sacramento and Chico. Live Oaks, I don't know.
For those who don't know, like Northern California, like that part, like there's just a lot of towns, in various levels of ruralness, sort of north of Sacramento. There's a lot of people, but also not a lot of people.
Right. And so, I show up at this party, and I'm ready, right? It's an 18-year-old's birthday party though, which is like, okay.
All right. You just crossed the line. Thank God.
And the mom is paying for it and there with her friend, whatever her friend's name is. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm there. It's kind of weird. And I'm dancing and stuff. And it gets to party favors. The mom was making it mad awkward. Like she had all the money because she's an adult.
Yeah. She's fully grown. Yeah.
And was like just bogarting the party favors.
Right. It's just her. You're
Which
just
is
playing
with
games
her and her friend.
Yeah.
So they had like 4 whipped cream races in a row. She kept coming up and whispering weird shit to me. Like, I'm a single housewife. And I'd be like, what? A single housewife.
I got 2. Well, yeah, guess what? I got 2 roommates. We're gonna play Xbox later.
What you mean? Are you a wife or are you not? And so that just like, it was the weirdest thing. I was like, honestly, dude, I feel like there's not a better use of my time money wise, but I probably should figure something out. Cause at the time I was also doing in-house support services. And if you don't know what that is, that's when the state hires people to help either kids or adults who need help in the house. So during the day, I was going to school and I was taking care of 4 mentally and physically handicapped kids. I was taking them. For
like a companion with them in some cases, or like helping them with their job or whatever.
I would go every now and then and go stripping. And I had to tell Jan, because some like Friday nights I had to leave early. I was like, Jan, I got to leave early on Fridays. And she was like, why? And I was like, well, I'm not going to lie to you. I strip in the evenings. Right. And she was like, okay. I guess that's fine. We won't tell the kids that. And I was like, yeah, it would.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's also, but to be fair, also like, let's not tell the kids anything about what I do outside of work, regardless if it's stripping.
Yeah, great point, Chase.
Yeah, I only manifest here, so it doesn't matter.
That's the way it is. So it wasn't that free. It wasn't really frequent enough, even if it was a better work environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Lee really, if he was a better manager, I may even still be in Chico,
Yeah, just doing it now. Well, then, Granison, we always ask, before we wrap it up, we always ask 3 questions to sort of make sure we covered everything for the jobs. So question number 1 of those 3 questions, it relates to kind of leaving this job. So like, how did you quit, and when did you know you were done? Was it during those the party favors game where you're just like, I really got to get out of here, you know?
Yeah, so it was kind of during, like, I did the party, and when I realized it was like an 18-year-old's birthday party, getting ready, like during my break, I was like, oh, this is so weird.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the party, after all that, I was like, I think this is it, man. I don't think I can be Kelvin anymore. You know, and
you just
so
took the Kelvin puppet off your hand real slow.
Yeah.
And I think what it was
G-string at the party like a fighter leaving his gloves in the ring.
Yeah. What's crazy is, like, I didn't need to really quit because it was so infrequent. I just had to say it when Lee would want to hire me. He'd be like, hey, I got a booking for you. I would just say, hey, I have another job and I'm going to school. I don't have time.
Right.
Well, let me know when you want to get back into it.
Right. So you just said no a couple times, and he was like, I'm not going to call you anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Which I'm sure he was pretty used to. Okay. Well, then question number 2 is, what's one good thing you took from that very bad job?
I was already pretty confident, but like I was completely secure in my body and myself. Job. You kind of either have to fake it or really be cool. And I realized I am very comfortable with 99% nudity around strangers.
Yeah.
And then Blockbuster, I took from that job. That Blockbuster sucked. I was like,
avoid all Gregs.
You don't want to work in this job, and it's important to know what you don't want so you can get to what you do.
Absolutely.
Well, then question number 3, not related to those bad jobs, is, you know, we've had a pandemic. It's not quite over.
Nope.
You know, how would you say, you know, how you doing? You got any new outlooks on things? You know, we'll check in.
Honestly, I have not. Like, I've had so many jobs that if you guys could probably have me on multiple seasons, and
we probably will.
We'll probably have it back.
And so I haven't had a real break of any kind since I was like 17. So I've either worked 1 to 2 jobs and been doing a full-time anything I was interested in. So for me, this was very much like a moment of time where I really got to like not stress about just running. Cause like, you guys know, I had like League of Comedy, my entertainment company. I was writing, I was acting, I was, you know, doing a lot of things, working on an urban farm project. Like, I just felt like I was running in place. And so the pandemic gave me a little time to like really enjoy stuff. I learned a ton about politics, about the economy, and about like different nations' kind of political systems for no reason at all. It just YouTube started recommending it, and I was like, I guess I should know this.
Yeah, that's a way better route than I think a lot of people have gone in the YouTube rabbit hole.
Yeah. I just was like, why do I know so much about the Netherlands, you know, political views?
Yeah. So, you know, taking a little step back, which, you know, I think a lot of people have had that opportunity. Doesn't mean they've actually taken it, you know, because you could have taken a step back and be like, I don't want to take a step back, and then just barreled through in one random way or another. But well, where can people find you on the internet if you'd like to be found?
You can definitely find me mostly on Instagram. My posts are periodic at this point, just because I have a little less on the live comedy.
You're living your life, you know.
Yeah.
Life, you know what I mean? Sometimes I wake up at 9 a.m. That's late. And so I would say Instagram is great. My name is Granison on there. And then, like, you know, I'll post some stuff. I've been watching Outlander. So if you want to find out my hot takes about Outlander, you can definitely check out my Facebook posts. It's borderline obnoxious. My mom said, why are you doing this? And so, but they're fun, but they're a lot of fun. So check out there. I also released a comedy series that's like the Tiny Desk concerts of comedy. Called Booked Comedy Show. And booked comedy series, and it is a dope series about comedians in a bookstore. So you can check that out on YouTube. The link is in my Instagram page or on it.
And we'll put all those links in the show notes as well. So you can just start clicking. Cool. Well, Granison, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a goddamn hoot, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You guys are great. This is so fun.
And fuck this place.
Fuck this place.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening. You know what to do next. Subscribe, leave reviews, multiple. If you already left one, go for it again. Take another lap. And as always, you can write in anytime you want. That's 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. Now you know how to be a stripper in Chico, so go out there, follow your dreams, folks. Okay, that's it. Bye for now.